Welcome back, guys, to another YouTube video. So in this video I'm going to go over today's price action. I'm just using replay mode here, going back to last week Thursday, but yeah, I just want to kind of give a bit of insight into my weekly market kind of analysis, if that makes sense. So yeah, we'll get into it. So starting on Thursday last week, the 31st of October, we had this external range of liquidity resting here. That was a nice draw on liquidity. And then also this low resistance liquidity here, going back to the start of October, that looks really nice to potentially go for. So with this being my main draw, as you can see, we can play out the candles. So this was Thursday. Friday, this you could say was a return into the weekly range after taking this week's objective. So with that being said, what I then saw was this internal range of liquidity created. And if you've been following my videos and understand how I kind of get my bias on the daily, if we're going from an external range of liquidity, we will want to look for a internal range of liquidity. So going back into internal, so ERL to IRL and IRL to ERL. So I would be looking for a move back up to here. Put that on my chart like that. So that was Friday's close. Now Monday, we can see what Monday did, which was yesterday, obviously. Monday we did just trade between Friday's low and high, so we just traded within Friday's pretty much range. Um, it was an inside bar pretty much. We failed to take, we did take previous day low, just, but as you can see, that's how we closed. Now, before I show the next candle, today's candle, just note that Mondays aren't always, that's like, I think they're statistically the worst days to trade in terms of like points and how much points on a Monday the price will move. So yeah, anyway, moving on. So with today's price action, we got to move back to internal. So back to internal, and what we can draw out is our 50% of the range. So we still have an hour and 5 minutes of this daily candle to close until close, but you can see at the minute we are respecting 50%, and we are not obviously above this internal invalidating this. So in my opinion, what am I going to expect for the rest of this week? I know we have presidential elections going on, so it's kind of high risk at the minute. Anything can happen, you know, when we find out who gets put in, Harris or Trump. So this is just based on my analysis and how I see price, even if it wasn't the presidential election. So what I'm seeing this move back to internal to look for a move to these external range of liquidity, this low resistance liquidity. That's what I'm looking for. So we'll see how tomorrow prints, what kind of market structure we get. What I would like to also note out on the daily before I move on to today's price action on the lower time frames, we have a bearish um, uh, unicorn model here. We have the FEG aligned here. We have a change in the state of delivery here. So this becomes our daily bearish order block. So if we are going to be going for these lows, I would want obviously this bearish unicorn to be respected, and for us to pretty much go all the way down to potentially these lows. Okay, so I'm now on the 15-minute time frame of today's price action, and from the open we had I believe it was a 138 point move, and after a large range, which this is, we expect either consolidation or retracement. Now we clearly got consolidation, but we also had retracement. So what did price actually go for? So after we took this previous day high, or what you could have marked out is this buy side liquidity here on the higher time frame, this is when price consolidated, but it also retraced on the lower time frames. If you look, it'll be a bit messy, but I'm going to show you in a minute why, how it looks a bit more clear. So after taking a external range of liquidity, we look for a move what? Back to internal range. We get this move back to internal here, which is our internal range of liquidity. We can also class this as a 15-minute fair value gap, our higher time frame POI. So with that, we can jump to the 1 minute, sorry. And at this higher time frame POI, what do we get? Well, before you say, well, you tapped a 15-minute fair value gap here, so why can't this be your breaker block? You had an FEG here and closure on this candle. Why couldn't you enter here, like so? In for 2R, but you would have got stopped out. Well, you need to understand what price is doing. Now, this could have just been a failed setup. I understand that, but it's going to make a bit more sense if we go to the 5-minute, and this is when people, you might say, oh, you know, Jack, you don't mix time frame alignments. Well, you've got to read price action. You can't just be on the 1 minute. You need to see what other time frames are doing. What do we have here? We have a fair value gap and closure above this down close candle. This signifies to me, what is it? An order block. So when I'm seeing that, what do we get here? We get a low, a high, a low, and we get displacement that leaves an FEG aligned. This, guys, is what I call a unicorn setup. Your stop, your entry would go there, your stop would go below the breaker in a bullish example, and your target 2R. Now in this trade, targeting here is very valid, and this is why I'm going to explain. Going back to what I said about in my videos about after a large range, what do you expect, consolidation or retracement? Here, marked out, we have accumulation. We then get manipulation. And what do you get after manipulation? What to expect? Distribution to the top of your accumulation or of your range, if that makes sense. So that's what we get here. These are nice like smooth edges to aim for as well. So that is a nice 3.7 RR trade that you could have easily got. Obviously today was elections, so I did not participate today. Just too much risk. It's high risk. It's not it's just not something I would want to trade today, and I didn't. So with that being said, I wouldn't have taken any trades on my funded account today. But yeah, this is how I kind of see AM price action. So I hope that was clear, and I want to go into PM session. So PM session is obviously, if I clear my chart, is in my, it starts at 1 p.m, but I would kind of be looking around like 2 p.m. onwards personally. Now, going over to the 5 minutes, so we just kind of clear the chart. So the 5 minute, this is why I like to see what prices do on the higher time frames. In my opinion, okay, on the 15-minute, if we're bearish, I'd want to see closure below here, creating a CSD. Okay, that is just how I personally see price. So with that being said, if I go to the 5-minute, oh no, sorry, the 1 hour, because the 1 minute was just too messy. There was nothing on the 1 minute, in my opinion, 4 p.m. session. It was only really clear on the 1 hour. So the 1 hour, again, as I showed on the 5-minute, we have a low, opposing candle, and closure above. So that creates our bullish order block on this 1 hour. So what we can do with this information, we can jump down to the 5-minute. At the 5-minute, for me, first thing I'm seeing, we have these smooth edges. This is not something where I think, okay, I think price is now going to be on the higher time frame, bearish. When I see something like this, I think, okay, I still think we are going to go higher because we have smooth edges here. You know, I don't want to see this sort of price. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this. I want to see my model, because my model is a reversal pattern, and we don't get that here. So this is again, it's just nice draw on liquidity. Look what happens here when we have these smooth edges. We end up taking it. So with that being said, for me there was nothing really on the 5 minute to actually take. However, looking at what price reacted to over here, we have a 5-minute bullish unicorn setup. If you mark out the order block, look how we respect 50% and react off that 50%. If you were to take this, it would look like something like this. This is a huge stop, so in my opinion, why would you want to bother? And you would pretty much target this smooth edges. Or if you go for a static 2R, it'd be that. So that's kind of my review on price. and everything. So I hope that was insightful. Hope you learned something. If you did, leave a like, comment, and check out the Discord link in the description. Take care, guys. Bye.